Hello, we're back. We're back now. We're back. All right. Hold on. I'm turning your mic on, Jacob. It's on now. So I want to talk about the DC thing, the DC situation. All right. Flashback. Let's turn the clocks back a year. Not really. Actually, back to like last March when Shazam: Fury of the Gods came out. The DC stuff was going mega crazy.
Did you say last year?
I was joking about that part. I said not really. In March, last March, which was a few months ago, was when Shazam came out.
That's this March.
This last March.
No, what? This last March?
Think of the last March. It was a March a few months ago.
That's this March. You don't say last March. If it was a month ago, that's not how it works.
Yeah, you do.
No, it isn't. So to you, then there's a last March and a next March.
If I say, all right, today's Friday. If it was Thursday and I say next Friday, I mean tomorrow.
No, you don't. That's not how that works. What you're saying is there's no such thing as a this Friday, because there's last Friday and then there's next Friday, and then that's it. Last Friday is last week's Friday, and next Friday is
Fine.
This week's Friday. Yeah, you're saying there's no such thing as a this March. There's only a last March and a next March.
But I hate when people say last. No, I don't. If it's Sunday, I'll say last week if I'm talking about Saturday. No, I'll say yesterday. But shut up, Jacob. All I hear from you is criticize.
Yeah, and you should just listen to it and stop being silly.
Sting and Shazam came out in March this year, which is hard to believe because it seems like it came out 1,000 years ago.
It just feels like you should just figure out how many months ago March is, and so you can say that. What is it, 1 month ago? Is it 2?
Oh my god, I'm moving on to the start!
March, April, May, June.
3 months ago.
Yeah, there you go.
What does it matter? It doesn't matter. It came out in March. It's June now. People got time to figure out what time it is. Anyway, it came out, and we talked about this. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but it did garbage. It made no money. Well, it made its budget, the production budget back, but marketing, probably not even close. Home video, probably not even close. I'm surprised they even would try releasing a home video. Granted, I think I'll buy it. I'll buy it just to support it. I went to go see it in IMAX by myself. None of my roommates wanted to go. I had 2 roommates, so neither of them wanted to go. So I went and saw it by myself because I loved the first Shazam movie. Jacob, you were surprised when I said I loved the first Shazam movie so much to where I've watched it multiple times throughout the years. And apparently, you've watched it more than one time.
I don't think so.
Really? I've watched it at least 4 times in life, probably 5 times. I like the first one. I consider it a classic. I consider it a Christmas staple because it's a Christmas movie. It's a movie about family. I like how it's a little, especially at the time when the first Shazam came out, we were still in the thick of the Zack Snyder-ness of everything, and everything was like still dark, moody, and wet and stupid. I think the movie that came out before the first Shazam was Suicide Squad without just Suicide Squad.
Shazam was like the only DC movie that was trying to have fun.
Yes, have fun and be funny
and like heartfelt.
Yes, and heartfelt too.
There is is there any heartfelt content in Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Justice League? Is there heartfelt content? No, there's character drama, but that's not, it's like, is it like, oh, this is heartwarming? No.
There's one heartwarming in the Zack Snyder Justice League part.
What?
When he's going taking time back and he's like, I did it, Dad. I'm the best of the best. I love that part. And he's like running existence back into existence. That's just amazing.
When did Zack Snyder's Justice League come out?
Oh, last year. No. Yeah.
No way. What? No way.
I'm looking it up.
Last year
in February.
No way.
Let me look it up.
That sounds so recent.
It had to be. Nope, I was wrong.
Yeah, of course you're wrong. It was way too soon.
It was 2021. Jacob, whatever. The last 2 years for everybody in the world were the same year. Let's see. Yeah, it was 2021. I was thinking, but I think it came out February in 2021. March also. They love DC loves March.
So in that entire Zack Snyder era, you've got like a line in the Zack Snyder Justice League and Shazam as being the only like thing that was like, hey, here's some heartfelt content. The rest of it was like trying so hard to just be cool.
Yeah, be cool and different. They were trying to be not Marvel, and I think early on that was DC's main goal, was just to be not Marvel, and then it became, let's try to be Marvel, and then it became let's just do whatever we can,
So Shazam
whatever.
was sort of like the Ant-Man of it.
Yeah.
Because like Ant-Man also, like the way the way Paul Rudd interacts with his daughter, and the way that him and his ex-wife and the stepdad all get along.
Yes.
It's very heart. It's the heartfelt.
Yes.
Of Marvel.
And I think that's what both Shazam's movies' biggest strength is, the family aspect of it, the themes of family. I'm getting goosey just thinking
You know what
about
else? It's really cool that Shazam is extremely powerful, and it's not like they're not like, ooh, isn't that so cool? It's like okay, so we're scaling up the conflicts because of them being powerful, and then that's it. And then obviously like the actual stakes will still be personal connections and all that.
Yeah, and you still don't want people to die, but nobody is like, oh my god,
yes, so
my shoulders are crushed with the power of his power.
Batman v Superman, Justice League, and I'm including Zack Snyder Justice League, and Wonder Woman, and Aquaman.
Oh.
Basically, everything else was like, oh, this character is powerful. Isn't that so cool? Look at it. It's so strong. Black Adam. They were like, it's such a big deal that this character is so strong. And Shazam was like, it doesn't matter. Whatever. He's strong. So it's going to be a conflict between two very strong people, but that doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. The heart and is what matters.
Also, it helps that it's kids who had no power and then got powers. Where, like, I mean, Superman, he's always had the power, but it was slowly, and he was growing up, and it was more of a pain for him. It's like a lot of
that just makes it even more interesting that they don't freak out about being super strong.
Exactly. To them, they're just like, I'm a superhero. It doesn't matter how strong. They probably don't even have a gauge of who's the strongest or anything. They're just like, all right, we can do this. Let's go do this now. They're not thinking about, like, oh, what does this power mean for me? What does that mean for the world? That's all Superman's thing. And then Black Adam is like, well, I'm just powerful. I know I'm powerful, so I'm just gonna go and just. The Black Adam is so bad, and it's so bad because they literally took a syringe, took it to the back of The Rock's big bald head, and just sucked out all of his charisma, and then they're like, put him in a black Shazam suit, and I'm finding a clip.
I just remember people making such a big deal about how strong he was supposed to be, as if like that matters. Like it doesn't matter. Like who cares?
Well, also he kept saying the hierarchy of the DC universe is about to change. Yes,
that was people just making such a big deal about his strength. And it was like, why would this matter at all?
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find this clip because it sucks. I hope I can find it.
And heck, isn't Superman weak to magic and Shazam is magic?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of wish we could have had a Superman Black Adam. Well, not Superman Black Adam, but that was the thing. So I want to talk about that. The Rock hates the Shazam movies. He does not want any ounce to do with them.
What?
Despite the fact that Black Adam is a Shazam
villain. Why are you saying that? You saying, what did he say that? What happened?
He didn't say it outright, but throughout all this Warner Brothers stuff and all the behind the scenes stuff, it's become pretty clear that The Rock didn't want the ultimate lead up of his idea of what he was going to be to lead to him finding Shazam, even though he's there. Black Adam says Shazam all the time because he has to say Shazam to turn on his powers. So that makes it more frustrating. But he basically, that whole the hierarchy of DC Universe is going to change or whatever. That's because he wanted Black Adam to fight Superman, and he wanted that to be the next big event. he wanted to fight Superman. Actually, I just gotta show you this. The final battle. I'm showing Jacob a little final battle of Black Adam because he fights the devil. What is with the mix on these, man? It's a literal devil right there. And that's the Justice Society. The coolest aspect of Black Adam is the Justice Society, but they're also not that interesting to me.
Shazam.
I don't know if you heard him say it, he just said Shazam. Yeah, you can't hear anything. I wish you could put those headphones
I don't
on.
need to. It was fine. I believed you when you said that he said it. I don't need to hear it.
I'm trying to get a good look at the villain. Oh man, The Rock. I'm just so strong. See, that's the thing. Okay, another thing is, like, The Rock's a big guy. We know he's strong. And just looking at Black Adam, I just keep thinking of, I'm The Rock, but I can fly. I'm The Rock, but I can throw stuff.
Stop doing that dumb voice.
I'm The Rock, but I shoot lightning out my fingers.
Stop. So he is just Shazam?
He's literally just Shazam. He has the exact same powers as Shazam.
And they made it such a big deal. They were like, "Oh, it's such a big deal. He's Shazam." Shazam didn't make a big deal about being Shazam.
Exactly.
It was just so cool. They just gave that power to a kid, and first of all, the kid had a pretty mature sense of
the world,
the value of power. Like the fact that he fought. You see him fight the bullies that are picking on Freddy in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh look, he knows the difference between like being able to defend yourself and like holding power over people, and he's a person about it. He had a mature sense of what power was worth.
And same with Freddy, but unlike Freddy, he didn't care about superheroes at all. And even when he was given that power, like, it didn't go to his head. Where in Shazam 2, it does go to Freddy's head a little bit. Even though I think he also understands the value of the power.
Yeah, even then, they did a great job of making Freddy still a good person.
He's still good, yeah.
He wasn't like an a-hole about anything. But yeah, just the fact that they could just be like so nonchalant about Shazam's power. He felt like a hero who could stand shoulder to shoulder with the Justice League. He felt like he was on par with Superman and Wonder Woman, whatever. But they didn't freak out about it because it's not a Zack Snyder-y movie. Mm-hmm. Zack Snyder was so up his own butt about everything. He was like, man,
you can literally feel the weights on the camera almost.
Yeah, he kept trying to say, oh, these characters are so cool, aren't they? Look at them. And it was like, stop saying they're cool. They haven't done anything. It's not cool right now. They're not doing anything cool.
And also to talk about like. To reference a little bit of the Superman Lois news from earlier, but like for like a Man of Steel, or in my head what I'm thinking of right now is Batman vs Superman. That movie is a lot of dour darkness. We're gonna fight. There's not a shred of heart in Batman vs Superman, and where you could have had that would have been with Lois and Clark. Give Superman anything to do in that movie. Period. But there's no human relatabiliness, and what the Shazam people like, they are people first, superheroes second, and they spring into action, and they're not the most perfect superheroes, but they save people, and that's all that really matters for them. Oh man, and the first
kid romance was cringe though.
Whatever, and you're talking about the second movie, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which we were working up to, basically. What'd you think of Fury of the Gods overall? And I want to mention also, I want to give Shazam a little. We still haven't seen The Flash, and since it's doing so poorly, I kind of just want to wait for it to go on HBO Max or something. So we're gonna wait for that, probably. And I want you to put some effort and go watch Shazam. I don't think they're ever going to make a third Shazam movie, and I do think that's unfortunate, because I think they could. I didn't show Jacob the after credit scenes of Shazam: Fury of the Gods because both of them make promises that they cannot necessarily keep. So I just was like, I'm not going to show you the credit scenes. I'm gonna tell you them now because it doesn't matter. The second one does First of all, I didn't know there was an after credit scene to the first.
Just say what they are.
No!
Yes!
I'm working up to it!
I hate that you do that. Just say what they are.
No! Content! Mother effer!
Just say what they are.
I don't even want to do it.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, because both Shazam movies are actually trying to be fun movies that you can enjoy, you don't have to like DC at all to enjoy those movies. You don't have to care about Batman and Superman. You don't have to care about any of the thing they were doing.
They almost technically fit more into the Marvel movies
you can
in a
just
way.
Watch Shazam and Shazam 2. You don't have to care about anything else.
Yeah, and that's why I hate about how Shazam 2 did so poorly, because people just skipped it, just being like, who gives a flip? And while it's not like changing the game on superhero movies, it's a really good, solid movie.
Thinking about the Shazam movies as a part of whatever DC was trying to do in that era would just make them worse in your head. Just forget about what DC is or was at the time, and just go, oh, it's just Shazam, and it's so much better for just being its own thing. And
unlike every other attempts at franchises in the DC EU at the moment, Shazam's the most consistent. Like, Man of Steel, like Batman vs Superman is reactionary to Man of Steel. Then both Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon's Justice League are reactions to Batman vs Superman. And Wonder Woman, while I personally really liked Wonder Woman 1984, yeah, even with the story stuff. But those both, like the first Wonder Woman and second Wonder Woman, are tonally so different. It's like weird that they're even in the same franchise. So like, there's been no consistency with any of these movies. And Shazam, you can watch Shazam 1 and watch Shazam 2 and feel like you're in the same world with the same characters, and nothing is going to feel jarring or like doesn't make sense, because they're not relying on the world around them. They're just relying with these core characters. I do have a couple complaints with Shazam Fury of the Gods, though, and it's only because it's probably going to be the last Shazam movie we're ever going to have, maybe. But I do wish we spent more time with the kids in the second movie, because they're just great. They're great kid actors. And you were saying before,
they wrote out Billy Batson.
Kinda, yeah. He literally, the kid, Asher Angel, he only has like 2 or 3 1-minute scenes, probably, in Fury of the Gods. Like, I love the beginning. I love the beginning when they're like, oh, it's such a nice day in Philadelphia. And they're like, all right, let's all just get together. And you have that one group shot of them walking down the street. And I love that Billy Batson has a Goonie shirt, because, yeah, they're basically the Goonies. And there's so many aspects of this movie that remind me of the Goonies. Like when Freddy is trapped with the wizard in that weird cavernous pit or whatever it is. I was like, this makes me feel like the Goonies. It's like kids running around in dusty caves. But I just love seeing the group shot of them walking down the street, and they all go, Shazam! And they all turn into superheroes. It's so cool. It's like kid Power Rangers. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's the Power Rangers if they were all that blue Power Ranger who was a kid that got bigger.
Exactly. It's literally just that.
Beetleborgs.
Yeah, it is Beetleborgs.
That's what Beetleborgs is.
Man.
Beetleborgs is Power Rangers, but they're all that kid.
I hate that you remind me of that. Jacob, we're writing a Beetleborgs movie. I just hope you know that. That if we get one thing done in this life, even if it never gets sold or bought or anything, we gotta just write the perfect Beetleborgs movie.
The teen romance was cringe.
I disagree.
It was cringe.
I think you cringe at any romance.
Almost, but there are exceptions.
What exceptions?
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, but also that ends tragically.
So...
I feel like you're nicer if it ends trash for everybody.
I was gonna say Hadestown.
Yeah, and that also ends trash for everybody.
I mean, the fact that it's a kid and a 6,000-year-old being.
We're not getting into the minutiae.
Means, of course, I mean, it does end tragically, because that's a tragedy. So yeah. But still,
I mean, he's probably going to be immortal anyway.
It's just cringe the way that she's like, oh, the way you stood up against those bullies. All he did is drop some wisecracks and then got knocked to the ground.
Keep in mind, she's trying to get close to him because he knows who Shazam is.
The idea absolutely is supposed to be that she genuinely likes who he is, though. It doesn't.
She grows to like his chutzpah.
No, not grows to. It's not like no.
She's instantly charmed.
Yes, there, instantly. Yes.
But she still has a job to do.
Yeah, irrelevant. It's still a romance scene. Doesn't matter what her motivation was.
It's funny, though. I forgot she was in this movie, who played Anne in Fury of the Gods, Rachel Ziegler. She was in the newest Steven Spielberg-directed West Side Story. And I just listened to her on the Blank Check podcast because they talked about a musical, and they got her as a guest. And I just mentioned that because that was fun. Jack Dylan Grazer plays Freddie Freeman. He got famous from the It movies, or the first It movie, and the first Shazam. You know, he was a pop off, so they were like, let's give him more time.
Yes, they wrote off Billy Batson because Freddie was so cool.
I don't think it's just about writing off Billy Batson, because Billy has an arc in the movie.
What?
He has an arc.
Kid Billy? No. Zachary Levi is his name? He does. The movie opens on Zachary Levi in getting therapy, and ends on him talking to Wonder Woman, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, it's Zachary Levi gets his Billy Batson arc, sure. The Kid Billy doesn't.
Kinda no. But like I said, it's hard, because also you gotta think about this, okay? Imagine being one of the adult Shazams in the first movie, like, oh what, so I get to be a superhero for like 5 minutes and then that's it? So I understand you gotta give Zachary Levi's different.
No, but for all the adults, like whatever, like the kids are kids. It's like, oh wait, I only get to be here for a minute. Shut up, you grown adult. It's the kids' movie. Shut up. Get out of here.
Well, also you gotta think about, and this is another thing to think about. With kids, you can only work with them if they're under 18. It doesn't matter. You can only work with them for so long in the day.
All the kids got more screen time than Billy Batson
in this. Yes.
Yes.
That's true.
So it's not even relevant to the Chris. They wrote Billy Batson the kid out. They wrote him out.
I do think, I don't want to say it like they wrote him out.
They just listen. When I watched the first movie, I just liked Freddy so much. I thought I was like, man, that guy that played Freddy, I almost think he should have played Billy. But I think at the end of the day, the guy playing Billy did a great job.
I love that kid.
So I was just like, ultimately, I was like, okay, I like Freddy as Freddy, and I like Billy as Billy. It's great. But then I feel like on some level they detected that Freddy was just so good in the first one. They were like, what if he was the main character in the second one? Well, we just wrote Billy out of the movie.
It's pretty clear in the first movie though that like Freddy is like a co-ish lead. He's the closest thing in that movie to a co-lead.
I wouldn't say he's a co-lead in the movie though. He's a guy in the chair in that movie.
He is.
Not a co-lead. Whereas in this one, for large sections of the movie, he's just the protagonist.
But he's real. Well, I don't know. Would you consider him the protagonist?
Well,
I feel like his stuff is more of a B story.
No, there's no conflict that Billy is having alone that the family isn't having together. So it's like the only conflict that Billy has for himself is feeling like he's going to lose his family, okay? But you're not really dealing with that a lot in this movie. You're mostly dealing with the mechanical conflict of the Shazam team versus the goddesses. And Billy does not have that alone. They all share that. So the main conflict is one that Freddy is involved in, and you spend more time with him. So ultimately he is the protagonist for like the first half of the movie.
That's the thing. I wish we knew if we were going to get a third one or not. Because if we did get a third one, I would be focusing way more on the kids. More.
You said that like it made sense for the second movie to focus on a different kid. They could never do that again because none of the other kids are as good as Freddy. They could never switch to a third kid.
Well, I do think there's a hierarchy, right? So like Billy's top, Freddy's second, which in this movie it shifts. I guess I would count Mary number 3, just because she's one, the oldest, and 2, the smartest, and I don't know, she just has more to do than the other kids, I think, usually. And then there's the other 3 kids, the minorities.
Oh no! Oh no! They are the other 3!
They are the other 3. But they're also great. I love Darla, the little girl, and when she's a little girl and when she's a grown woman.
Dang, they are so othered. They are, though.
But also, both the parents are minorities, and they're also in the background.
Yeah. God dang it. And if they were to switch to a third kid, it would be the older woman one. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless she went to school.
But again, none of them are as good as Freddy. You really could not shift to a different kid for a third movie. It's Freddy or it's Billy, because they're really, really good.
Yeah, we got a commercial coming up in like 20 seconds, so I'm just prepping for that for a second. I guess we're going to be talking more Shazam, because I still got more things to say about it here in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. It's the new year, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're back. Oh, wait, are we back? Yeah, we're back. But yeah, exactly. It probably, yeah, they can't. Well, that's the thing. If they did a third movie, it would probably have to be more about the kids. Period. Like, I don't know how. But so yeah, I'm going back to when I was talking about the post-credit scene. So the first movie had a post-credit scene, which I did not know the first movie had a post-credit scene at all. It involved the villain of the first movie called Dr. Savannah. You remember him? Mark Strong from the first movie, yes. He comes back at the end of this movie, I guess referencing the post-credits of the first movie, being like, why aren't we doing the thing we're supposed to be doing? And setting up a villain for the third movie who is Mr. Mind. And that just looks like a bug. So they were obviously hoping to get a third movie. I just don't know if it's ever going to happen.
And the ending drags, obviously, like just like the first one, but much. I think a bit worse.
It's a lot longer in the second one.
It's like okay, this fight's going on for a very long time. This fight has phases to it. It's what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the runtime. Wow, interesting. The first movie is 2 minutes longer than the second movie, which is interesting. But yeah, I think both do the same thing, and we were talking about it yesterday. They do the same thing, but kind of in reverse. Where the first movie is Shazam fights the villain, and then he gives the power to all his siblings, and then the team of Shazams fight the villain, and that just tacks on another 10 to 15 to 20 minutes to the end battle. Same deal with this one, except this time the kids are all losing their powers one by one, until Billy is the last one, and then he has to fight the villain alone by himself. Granted, though, when he's fighting that dragon and fighting Lucy Liu, there are some awesome shots of him just, like, you know, silhouetted, punching the dragon. You can see the lightning bolt all bright, and you can see, like, the edge of him punching the dragon. Or the part where there's lightning in his eyes. It's like, man, we've never seen Billy with lightning in his eyes, and he's fighting the dragon. It's so cool.
So yeah, my 3 complaints would be cringe teen romance, Billy was written out of the movie, and the ending drags. And aside from that, I'd say basically no complaint. Obviously, I mentioned that Zachary Levi plays a different character than the kid Billy. They are not at all 2 actors playing the same essential core person.
No.
Billy, the kid, acts like a mature guy, someone who just, you know, has dealt with some serious things, and so he is like just a serious, mature person. And then Zachary Levi plays a little boy, as a little boy as a man.
Little boy.
And it's like obviously when they made the first one, they told Zachary Levi to do that. They were like, hey, the whole point is that it's a kid in a man's body, play a little boy. Mm-hmm. And so Zachary Levi did that, and it never made sense, because he was never in character for Billy to act like that.
And it looks even worse when all the other adults are clearly playing their kid.
They are,
and they're doing it.
Yeah, especially the black girls, like the black woman is playing the black girl.
Yeah,
like just straight up.
And yeah.
So it was like, yeah, Zachary.
She's best. She's probably the best one out of all.
So yeah, Zachary Levi's being consistent, but it's like from the start, it was not done to make sense.
Yeah, and one scene I always look at is the scene at the end of the second one where Billy's adopted mom's like, just let me see my son one more time. And then he turns to Billy. He delivers a great little emotional scene with his mom. He's like, all right, I love you, Mom. And then he's like, he literally has tears in his eyes. He's like, all right, Shazam! And then you got big, stupid Zachary Levi doing like a goofy, sad face. Like, ooh.
Yeah, so I don't consider this like an actual big complaint, because it's like, obviously it's not ideal. It's not, but
the story tracks. It doesn't change.
At
the
the
story
end of the day,
I've
always found Zachary Levi's portrayal of a little boy as a man funny.
It's funny,
and I've always really respected that Billy the kid is mature.
Yeah.
So it was like, I like them both. Obviously, it doesn't make sense for them to be inconsistent, but I like them both anyway, so it's okay.
Now, I want to get into the weeds a little bit about their power sets here. So, like, because they hinge a lot on the whole Wisdom of Solomon thing in this movie. And because we notice with all the Shazam people, like Freddy, he calls himself Captain Every Power because he can clearly do basically everything that Zachary Levi Shazam can do. But like Darla, she could, like, her specialty is running. I don't know if it's because they're like, you're not old enough to fly yet, or if she's just like, I can just run really fast, and that's my main thing. And same with the, I don't know, the green one where he can like throw lightning out of his hands, but like that seems to be it. I mean, they all can fly. Like they all have.
They all have all the powers.
But why are like 2 or 3 of them like so strong on like one of the powers?
Are they? I didn't notice.
I noticed that the first movie and the second movie. Like if they all have all the powers, why is Darla always running? And why is the guy with the lightning hands always just doing the lightning hands? And then I was thinking, they bring up the whole Solomon thing. What if, and maybe the older sister Mary, maybe her power is just being a lot smarter than all of them.
Except she flies also and does everything.
But I'm saying like her main power, like they can all do everything, but one of those powers for each of them is the stronger part. And they hinge on the Solomon thing. I'm thinking, is Billy Batson actually getting dumber when he turns into Shazam? Because that could make a little more sense. It's like, no, he's literally just being stupid. He turns stupid when he turns to Zachary Levi. And that's not... I mean, I doubt that's what they're trying to do, but it kind of tracks in my head. Like, that makes the scene where he's crying.
See, it would have been funny because they bring up the Wisdom of Solomon and they're like, it's weird. It seems like you don't have that power, Billy. It would be funny if when he brings this up to the wizard, he's like, I don't have the Wisdom of Solomon. The wizard's like, oh no, Solomon was an idiot. You just didn't know. I'm sorry. No, when you transform, you get dumber.
You get dumber.
So yeah, that was everything else in Shazam is a power. This is a defect. That's just how it was designed.
But also that kind of makes sense too, though. That'd be a good way to write it off. Be like, pros, you have all the powers. Cons, you're stupid. Like that's it.
You have the lightning of Zeus, the speed of Mercury. And then you're also dumb. There had to have been an offset somewhere. How do you think we fit all this magic in here? We didn't take anything away. You get dumber.
You get dumber. And when you look at it like that, it kind of makes more sense. It makes the movie run a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so
it genuinely makes more sense to think of it that way.
And like we said, there's nothing wrong with what Zach. It's nothing. On paper, if you only took all Zachary Levi scenes and just looked at that, it's fine.
It's funny. It's
good, but it just does not track, and that makes your attachment to Billy. I mean, you're still.
It's just so two completely different things going on, and both made sense if you stopped and you sat when they were pitching Shazam. Obviously, they were going to say, we want the adult man to act like he's a little boy. Mm-hmm. And then when they get into the weeds of Billy the kid's personal troubles, being abandoned by his parents, of course they're going to be like, we want him to, he's going to have something serious to say because he's got a serious conflict going on.
Yeah, he's treating it real. It's real.
Yes, this is nothing to laugh about, and he's going to and also he has to be so good that this wizard is going to give him the ultimate god powers.
Exactly.
So it was obviously Billy was going to be mature, and obviously Zachary Levi was going to be told to act like a little boy.
And it's just weird because in the comics, there's 2 versions of it where he is of one mind or he is 2 different people. Like, the only Shazam, I was going to say one of my favorite Shazam comics. I read one. But in that story, it was basically the same story as the first movie. The only difference was Billy and Shazam were 2 different people. They shared the same body, but when they went to the Wizard's Cave or whatever, they kind of split and they can talk to each other. I wish they could find a way to get that to work so you could still have Zachary Levi be whatever he's going to be, but that not make you think Billy is just shrugging off everything all the time, which it can feel like sometimes. But I don't know how they could have done it.
You know what else?
Mm-hmm.
Freddy's a little the opposite, because adult Freddy doesn't make any jokes.
You think so? He makes some jokes.
Well, I don't.
I mean, or maybe he just says things very.
He certainly doesn't talk as fast.
Confidently.
He certainly doesn't talk as fast as Freddy does. As a kid.
No, not as fast.
He does not have the same energy as Kid Freddy at all.
I don't know if anybody could talk as fast as that.
The only scene I'm remembering adult Freddy talk was with Anne on the rooftop,
Yeah.
and he was really slow and like trying to be mature. He was like, hello there.
And but he's also probably trying to.
You met my friend Freddy. You seems like you might have feelings for Freddy. He was talking slow and like an adult. So he in no way did we see Kid Freddy in him.
Maybe he was trying not to give it away. That was.
Yeah, maybe. But then there's no other scene of him talking even.
Yeah,
so it's like
true.
so that's just it. And so yeah, adult Freddy is not at all like Kid Freddy.
I do kind of wish we did get more of. Because that's the thing. Since we get more Kid Freddy in the movie and more adults of everybody else, we get less of adult Freddy. I think it would have been cool to see him do some more superhero things as adult Freddy. But we didn't get to really see that. Also, would it have been better? No, it wouldn't have. Because then it would give Billy literally nothing
on
to
the
do.
note of, like, about how they don't make a big deal about being super powerful,
Mm.
they could if they wanted to, but they didn't, and I think that's interesting. They never have the kids, like, lament the difference between their regular selves and their superhero self. Like, they never have the what's his name, Zach? They never have him go, oh, I'm fat when I'm a kid, but when I'm an adult, I'm conventionally attractive. They never have him lament that. They never have Freddy lamenting, like, oh, no, I can't walk without a crutch.
That's what I love most about Freddy. He's never acting like his life is burdened by being crippled.
Yeah, and the way he stands up to the bullies in both the first and second one is like, there's no difference in Freddy's self-confidence between him as a regular kid and him as a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, I literally can't walk right, but I'm still 100% confident in myself.
Yeah.
So you never have any of these kids being like, oh, I feel so weak without the power. Like, even when they're having it taken away from them in the second movie, they're like, they're always on their best foot. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, that is nice. If they wanted to make drama in that, they could. They chose not to, and I think it's cool.
Well, and because I like it, because one, they're family. They all accept each other. Like
there's like one beat where Freddy's in the cave with the wizard. He's like, oh man, I can't do anything. But like, they had to beat him down to get him there. Like when he's first powerless and taken to there, he's full himself. He's confident. He's making jokes. It was only after they did the like chaos in his ear thing, and after they dropped him in a cave. It was after beating him down a little. He was like, God dang it! I wish I had my powers. I'm weak. And the wizard was like, no, you're not, because he had just seen. No, Freddy's pretty tough. He's good.
And that's an aspect I love about the movie. Anytime or when he's staring down the dragon and it's supposed to paralyze you.
They did such a good job of saying, like, Freddy's got some strong character. Like, the chaos thing didn't work on him. And I thought that was funny, too. He was like, Destiny's Child did it better. Because they said, what are their names? It's like, say their name. He's like, Destiny's Child did it better.
But also it's funny because they literally send a letter to the evil gods with them saying all their names in the stupid letter. Is like, that was for nothing. You went through that torture for nothing.
But the visual effects with his eyes, and the actor was like screaming like he was in pain, but he was fighting it. I was like, oh, man,
he's a great actor.
The acting and the visual thing you're doing here is just selling like strength of character so well. And then they do it again with the fear dragon later. So yeah, they did. They made Freddy the protagonist of the movie.
But I think that's fine. And the problem is, it would be good because if we knew we were going to have 5 Shazams.
Sure.
I
just feel bad for Billy because I like him too, and he didn't get to be in the movie.
And I wish they would do more. So with the adult Mary, their oldest sister, in the first movie, it was a different actress. In this movie, it's the same actress playing the adult version of Shazam.
That's so interesting. It's like, and you said that they should do the same thing with Billy. That once he's old enough, just have him be adult himself. And I think that would be one really kind of funny to see, because you're gonna notice. Okay,
you're gonna notice.
I didn't notice with the older sister, but you would obviously notice it if it's not Zachary Levi. But it's funny, but also. It is kind of cool to think as they get older. It's like, no, you're now this super version of yourself is just yourself. It's just you.
And I just love the idea of like seeing them in the costumes and superhero. And it'd be cool to see like 5 very young. I mean, they're not kids anymore, but young adults just flying around being superheroes.
Yeah, it's like when you say Shazam, you're gonna become a version of yourself that can vote. But as soon as you're old enough to vote, that means you're just yourself.
Exactly.
With powers.
But yeah. And like how you're talking about how they don't have problems with, like, they're not being like, oh man, I'm so perfect when I'm a hero. I don't know. I like the aspect of they accept themselves as they are, and the superhero thing, it's all, especially for everybody but for Billy and for Freddy, for everybody else, it's like, this is a side gig. This isn't going to stop me from doing my own thing, but if we have to, we'll do it. Like, the kid's like, I'd rather be playing games. I don't want to do this. Or I'd rather be watching baseball and looking at men in the magazines. They'd rather be doing their own thing. They're just willing to help out because it's all or none. And I love that whole callback of, it's all or none, Billy. No.
Yeah. Imagine a Shazam 3 where they do the thing where Billy splits and it's Billy and Zachary Levi. But like, it's, I don't know how you get there. Like, maybe somebody does.
They do need to. That would be a great idea. They need to talk.
Maybe somebody does a spell on him. But imagine Billy is still wearing like the Shazam costume, but it's just like, hanging on him. And Zachary Levi is also Shazam, and they're fighting together against somebody.
That would be cool too.
That would be so cool. It's like you're the big version of me. It's like you're the little version of me, and they're both like, yeah, we're working together, and they fight somebody.
Imagine that. Like, it's like a little mini. And yes, for Billy and Shazam, but it'd be cool if they could do that with all. Like, that's a mini Avengers if you had that with all of them. Because then it's like that's like 10 superheroes, and it's just 2 versions of each one. That would be kind of cool, though. Man, I really hope they can find a way. I hope they can find a way to keep this franchise going. James Gunn. So that, like I said, the credits can't promise anything, but the after credits scene, they bring in 2 characters from the Peacemaker show to be like, hey.
Which characters?
2 agents. 2 agents. James Gunn's wife, who is in the Peacemaker show, and Economos. You don't know who he is.
Yes, I do.
You do? Why?
I've seen reactions to Peacemaker.
You shouldn't do that.
Several. I'm familiar with the plot of Peacemaker and the characters in it.
That's trash. You shouldn't do that. But Harcourt and Economos. All right. So yeah, they go up and they're like, you want to be part of the Justice League? That's Shazam saying League? No, Society.
Oh.
Yes. And so, but they just sort of literally walk. He's like playing around in like the woods. He's shooting like bottles with lightning in the woods randomly, and then Harcourt and Economos just creep up on him in the woods, be like, "Hey, you want to join the Justice Society?" And he was like, "I mean, yeah." And then the credits. It's like, okay. And that, like I said, none of these are promises. Like, and that presumably would be like, oh, so maybe Shazam will stay in the DC movies, but that doesn't guarantee a Shazam 3. And I really would like a Shazam 3, and I hate that because of all the stuff with the Flash, and I blame the Flash solely for this, because everybody's been hinging the whole DC thing on the Flash so much that they've just completely overlooked Shazam. And hardly anybody's seeing the Flash, although Flash did just now make back its money with the global box office. It made back its production money. The marketing money, I don't know if it's
okay. So first of all, I want to mention they keep making this joke in Shazam 2 about, oh, what's my hero name even? It's like, what's the point of that joke? I don't get it. People just recognize him as Shazam, don't they? Everybody.
Oh, you remember the part where an old guy was like, "Keep going, Captain Marvel"? Yeah. That old man played Billy Batson in the 40s.
That's cool.
Shazam show.
Couldn't give him a bigger
40s or 60s, like an old, obviously old.
Couldn't give him a bigger cameo than that.
That was pretty big, and he got to wear a red and yellow shirt.
He said, "Get him, Captain Marvel." That's not a big cameo. I mean, look at how the Flash treated the Flash show treated the Jake Garrick guy, right? Made him a main character. But you could do better than you got it, Captain Marvel.
He's an old man too.
Whatever.
But also, he got to call him Captain Marvel, which I'm pretty sure that show when he was in it was called
right,
Captain Marvel.
Right, but that joke is just, what's the point of that joke? I think audiences just recognize the hero as Shazam.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking what's his hero name, right?
Well, I think it's more like the writers are just tired of writing fake names. Like
right.
Captain Every Power.
So they've always put in this joke of what's his name because we don't know, but it's like
because they don't know.
You're just gonna call him Shazam.
Well, the problem is, like, who's gonna tell anybody that they're Shazam? Who are you? I'm.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Like,
doesn't matter?
They had to somehow get the name out to the press or something.
Do you?
How are they gonna call for him?
Typically, the press will just give you a name. Right, as in the superhero stuff, they just give them names. They don't ask.
Well, they're called the Philadelphia Fiascos.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I love that. I love the idea. Like, I love a spitefully given superhero team name. Like, the society gave you guys a superhero name.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess in universe, they can't be Shazam. They can't tell anybody they're Shazam because they'll transform if they do.
And then,
and nobody else would know that. So, obviously, they can't. But outside of that, in real life, I mean, audiences of the movie just recognize the character as Shazam.
Yeah.
So I don't think the joke of, oh, what's my name? It's like irrelevant. And then the guy's like, oh, your name is Shazam. It's like,
oh.
That doesn't change anything. I still can't tell anybody that.
I'd be like, could you go to, what was the, I can't remember a newspaper. They were like, nobody read, the Tribune. Could you go to the Tribune and tell them we're called Shazams?
we need somebody who isn't going to transform when they say it, but also clearly has authority on the subject to tell them that we're Shazam.
We're no longer the Philadelphia Fiascos. We're now the Shazamily.
Also, okay, that's good. But also, are they all just called Shazam? Because there's 5 of them, right? Like, or 6. I don't remember how many. But like,
they each get to take. They take a letter. Hey, S1.
No, see that doesn't work.
S. Yeah,
there's 2 A's. Shazam.
So A1 and A2.
They can't do that. You can't do anything.
I don't know.
You can't. There's no solution.
But yeah. And thank you for giving me credit for Shazamily.
Just scream help. That's it. You need their attention. Just scream help and assume that they'll come to you.
We've got 10 minutes left, fella. All right. I'm glad we spent that long on Shazam, though, because I wanted to give it some credit. I want people to go see that movie. Go to HBO Max or something, watch it. Just watch it and give it some love. And David F. Sandberg, that director, he's a great director, and he got to start off YouTube. And he posts, like, when the movie was done, he put, like, VFX breakdowns and a long, like, breakdown of how he did stuff. Like, he's really user-friendly. I like to use that. Well, my old professor, Dr. Rever, used to say that. User-friendly. He's very user-friendly to a bunch of aspiring filmmakers, and I appreciate that. So, hopefully he'll get a third movie, but if so, it's probably going to be 1,000 years from now. Man.